If you want to live a life that you have never lived before, you're going to have to do things in ways that you have never done them before. Last weekend, I manifested my dream car, a Porsche. I've wanted this car, and most importantly, I've wanted to be the girl who drives this car for as long as I can remember. And even though I definitely did not come from a family who drove fancy cars or was into anything luxurious in that way, I've just always been drawn to that and drawn to that kind of life for myself. I mean, I remember one of my first memories is saying that I wanted an Aston Martin when I grew up. I don't even know how I knew what that was. Honestly, I think I just asked my parents what the most expensive car was and decided that I wanted that. So she's been this way. I've just always had a dream life in my mind. I've always known since I was young the life that I wanted. And luckily, since I was young too, I've always believed in magic and was very fascinated by magic and all things mystical, everything beyond what meets the eye. I've always felt connected to something, higher self, guidance, angels, whatever you want to call it. I've always had a affinity for crystals. No surprise. I was looking for my garnet. Got her. And I've just always had this sensitivity to what I know now is energy and just kind of this inner knowing of how our energy works and how we can utilize it to really change our lives at any time. And this concept has always fascinated me. I always knew that even though my life didn't look how I wanted it to look back then, that I had the power within me to create whatever life I wanted for myself, as long as I really put my magic behind it. And so luckily, when you combine always having a dream life and being really driven towards it and this belief in magic, and then you add in the freedom that adulthood gives to you, you really can create your dream life like it's magic. But most of us would just call this manifestation. So today I really wanted to use the story of how I manifested my second dream car, which we'll talk about, and how I just continue to manifest this life that I've dreamt of ever since I was a little girl, and use this most recent success story of manifesting my Porsche to walk you through some of the absolute keys to manifesting anything that you desire. So whether that be your dream car or your dream life, these keys are going to set you up for absolute success. And then actually applying them is going to set you up for inevitable manifestation of whatever you focus them towards. And that, my besties, is a promise, okay? But you actually have to apply it. But don't worry, I made this super easy for you and I broke it down into 5 parts. So we have owning your attention, playing pretend, certainty, patience, and peace, working the process, and then rounding it all up with implementation. So I'm actually going to give you some tangible things to do so that you can actually apply what we're talking about here. Sound good? I'm actually really excited to go through all of this. But before we get started, I wanted to tell you that this is how I'm going to be running the podcast this year. If you're listening to this, you don't know a difference. But if you're watching this, you definitely notice a difference. So this year, one of my main goals is to be more consistent with my longer form content. So that being the podcast. And I really like the idea of utilizing YouTube a lot more. So here we are. I have so many more amazing videos on life-changing topics like this one planned for you guys this year. So definitely make sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and then comment down below if there's anything specifically that you guys really want to see me talk more about this year. Share more, whether it be here on YouTube / the podcast or anywhere else. I love to hear what you guys are interested in learning more about, or if even we cover a topic in this episode that you want me to dive deeper into. I'm happy to do that. And then in case you aren't already subscribed to the podcast as well, I will link that down below for you too. Like I said, I really want to do it in this format and utilize YouTube a lot more this year. But if there's little episodes that I just want to turn on my mic and record super quick and have them be audio only, those will definitely be going on the podcast. So definitely still subscribe there. I'll also link all the Arcanum jewelry that I'm wearing today because I'm stacked up. I truly feel dripped out in my crystals today and it feels really good. I feel like I've found my crystals of the year already, just intuitively. I've been really guided to wearing certain crystals. Quickly, I'll just kind of go over it with you. Green garnet, lab, black tourmaline, chrysocolla. Obviously, I have the Rapture ring stack. So this is amethyst, peridot, and aquamarine. More aquamarine here. This is a 1 of 1 melt. We're going to be releasing more of these soon. Onyx, more black tourmaline because I keep that thing on me, and moldavite, which also releasing more of these too. Oh yeah, and then this is a new one that I just designed literally last night, but it's going to be releasing just before Valentine's Day. I'm obsessed with garnet right now. That's the stone I'm holding here. I think garnet is my crystal of the year. Not even I think, I know. The last time I felt this intuitively guided towards a crystal was with black tourmaline, which is when I started Arcanum LA, my crystal jewelry brand, in the first place. So feels really good to have that deep connection with a crystal again. Oh, and of course, moldavite. I felt that call to moldavite too before, and we all know the power of moldavite. So anyways, everything will be linked for you below. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Let me know what more you want to see this year, and let's get into the video. I'm so excited to be doing it like this, you guys. Feels like a new era. Okay, step 1, owning your attention. This is probably one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to manifestation because it really is that important. I'm going to explain this in a couple ways to make sure that you get it. So we are always emitting a vibration. If you're familiar with the law of attraction, like attracts like, right? We will attract back to us. We will manifest what is in alignment with the vibration that we are putting out, that we are emitting, our vibrational frequency. That is the basis of the law of attraction, right? So the reason why our attention is so important is because I want you to think of your energy, your vibration, your frequency like a laser. And whatever you focus that laser on, you are putting all of your super magnetic manifestation power behind that, charging that thing up with your aligned energy to it to manifest it to you. Now, the important thing to get here as well is that it's not just the object of your focus, but the essence of your energy behind it. So let me explain that. If you really desire something and you're so laser focused on it, so you're putting all of your manifestation power, all of your energy, all of your attention focused behind that thing, but you are always focused on the lack of that thing. Meaning you are always thinking about how you desire that thing, you want that thing, but you don't have it yet. There's a void of it in your life and you're focused on that void. What are you actually manifesting? What are you actually putting your super magnetic manifestation power behind? You're putting it behind the lack of that thing rather than behind the actual having of that thing. Do you get the difference? So it's very empowering for us to own our attention, meaning become aware and conscious of what our attention is on. What are we focused on? What are we putting our energy behind? Most people's attention is on what they don't want. So if you're reflecting as you hear this and you realize, I've definitely been focused on what I don't want, don't worry, because this is the game most people are playing. This is when you don't understand all the layers of energy, right? Because it's not just what you are desiring and what you are thinking about, but it's how you are thinking about it. The how, that is the energy of it. That is the essence of the focus. So again, we want to take that into consideration when we take in how we are journaling about our manifestations, how we are thinking about our manifestations, how we think about those things that we want and desire in our life, right? When we think about them, do we feel this lack? Do we feel jealousy towards them? This is the essence of the energy that is backing the object and how we are manifesting it. So are we actually manifesting more of it in our life? Are we actually attracting that thing to us and open to receiving it? Or are we resistant to it because we are focused on the lack of it and therefore manifesting more lack of it in our life? Hopefully, in just hearing this, you are having a major aha right now that is going to help you to shift from never focusing on what you don't want again and practicing constant conscious awareness of your attention and owning the power behind it. I want you to begin to think about anywhere that you are placing your attention, anywhere that you are placing your focus. That is what you are supercharging with that laser of your energy, aligning your vibrational frequency to it. So something that I run through with myself all the time is I ask myself, where is my attention? What am I thinking about right now? What am I feeling? Notice where you are placing your attention and your focus. Notice those thoughts that are running through your head. I'll usually become aware of it too based on a feeling. Maybe I'll start to feel off, and then that will trigger for me to ask myself, where is my attention, and begin to observe my thoughts. Maybe I'll notice that rather than thinking about what I desire in a really positive light, maybe I'm more focused on the current experience in my current reality of what isn't that right now, what I don't have of that right now. Hi, kitty boy. He's entered the chat. And so when I become aware of that, this is then my work to shift my focus. And we're going to get into that, don't worry, but I just want you to become aware of the process now and why it's so important to own the power of your attention and become aware of it at all times. Another quick little analogy that I'll give you to just help it click in your mind even more is what I like to call the raffle ticket analogy. I don't know, my brain likes to think in little pictures, and so that's how I translate to help you guys understand deeper. But okay, the raffle ticket analogy. I want you to imagine that there are two baskets that you can win in a raffle. Have you ever played a raffle? You know what I'm talking about, right? So one basket is what you want. It's your desire. The other basket is what you don't want. It's the lack of that desire and literally what you don't want. So each little ticket is your energy. It's your crazy magnetic manifestation power. Remember, whatever you put your energy towards, you attract back. So this is like your currency. Now, the way that you put a ticket in a certain basket isn't with your hands, dropping it in the baskets, but instead it is through your attention, through your focus. So you obviously want to put the tickets into the basket of what you do want to manifest. So you need to do that by focusing, placing your attention on things of the like vibration of what you do want to manifest, meaning supportive thoughts and beliefs, feel good feelings, aligning to the vibration of it. This is all putting the ticket in that basket. But if you are focusing your attention, your energy on feeling like you can't have it, observing the lack of it in your life and just really feeling into that lack, focusing on the thing you want, yes, but thinking about how you don't have it yet and how it's so annoying because you want it now. This is all attention and focus on not having it, on what you don't want, and therefore putting your raffle tickets in that basket. Now, your dominant vibration is what manifests. So if you have negative thoughts, if you have a limiting belief, don't freak out and think you just messed it all up, because that's not how this works, okay? We'll talk about this shortly, but actually noticing these limiting beliefs is really, really valuable information. So you don't just want to suppress these negative thoughts, these negative feelings, these limiting beliefs, these observations of your focus on lack. You don't want to just suppress that down and try to override it with just thinking positively. Okay, that shit never works. Noticing where you aren't yet aligned, noticing where you're continuing to put the raffle tickets in the basket that you don't want is really valuable information because it shows you where you can do more work. This work can be done through subconscious reprogramming, through actively working to change your beliefs and change your energy around this thing, which we'll get into. But I just want to make that clear now that don't get down on yourself. Don't beat yourself up over it. This is all about being that non-judgmental observer so that you can actually utilize what you're witnessing and experiencing in your reality as really valuable information for you to align even deeper to what you desire. Okay? Okay, now I want to tie this into my car manifestation to give you guys a tangible example. So I realized that I was focusing on not having my dream car yet. it kind of became something that I would think about quite a lot. I was driving my Tesla. That's the car that I still have. And my Tesla was my first dream car that I manifested to, that I applied this same process to. So basically, to manifest this second dream car, I just replicated the process. When it wasn't working out how I wanted it to, right? When the car wasn't manifesting, I just went back to remembering how I manifested my first Tesla and applied it again for this Porsche. So what I noticed is that I was really focused on the lack of the car. I was thinking about it a lot. I was thinking about how I was kind of sick of driving my Tesla and I really wanted a new car. I really wanted to upgrade my car. And when I'd see Porsches driving around LA, I would feel a hole. I'd feel sad about it. I'd feel like, oh, I want one. I want one so bad. Why don't I have one yet? We all know this feeling, right? So I started to notice that that was the energy I was having behind this manifestation. And again, like I shared with you, it wasn't something to get mad at myself about. It was really valuable information that gave me what I needed to know so that I could actually align deeper. So the shift that I made is I stopped focusing on not having it and started focusing on having it. Meaning, when I would script out my manifestations, this is one of my favorite manifestation techniques, scripting out your dream day in the life, visualizing it, I would focus on having both of my dream cars. Funny enough, I had never planned to have two. I planned to get rid of my Tesla and get the Porsche, but what you script manifests. I'll say it forever. Be careful what you script because magic happens in these journals. So yeah, pretty funny now looking back that I was always writing and scripting about my two dream cars being parked in the garage. And now I have my two dream cars parked in the garage. But I started to just focus on the feeling of already having it. When I would see a Porsche out, I would say, that's my car. And taking this even deeper, and this is so important, and we're going to get into this in the second step. So I'm just going to briefly touch on it and then get into it even deeper with you in the second step. In focusing on having it, I started pretending that I did have it. So when I would drive my Tesla, and again, this is exactly what I did when I manifested my Tesla too. I would drive my Tesla like I was driving a Porsche. I would feel the way that I knew I would feel when I was driving my luxury dream car, a Porsche. I would feel that way while I was driving my Tesla. And I'd make conscious effort to feel this way too. It was something that I consciously forced myself to do every time I got in the car. But we're gonna get more into that in step 2, playing pretend. Playing pretend is so powerful because it puts you in the energy of already having that thing. So I'm sure you've heard before, act as if, or stepping into the identity of the version of yourself who's already manifested whatever you're manifesting. This is what we're talking about here when we talk about playing pretend. So stepping into the identity of the version of yourself who already has that thing is such a deep and effective topic that I'm actually going to go into that in a whole other episode with you guys very, very soon. Don't worry, it's coming in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. But I just want to kind of summarize it here in a really tangible way by explaining it through the understanding of playing pretend. So as we know with manifestation, like attracts like. So when we are continuing to align to our current circumstance by being the version of ourselves who is living and experiencing our current circumstance, we are just attracting, manifesting more of that. Also think of it in terms of if there's something that you really want to change in your life. For example, maybe manifesting a new car or maybe manifesting a new home, and you're just sick of your current circumstance with it. And so your attention, your focus, your manifestation power, your energy is always focused on hating your current circumstance. All the things that you dislike about what you have now, right? Maybe you just feel so bad when you're in your home or you're in your car, and every time you get in it, you're just like, oh, I hate this. I wish I had a nicer car. I wish I lived in a better home. You're always just picking out all the things that you don't like. That is what you are putting your energy behind. That is what you are focused on. That is what your attention is on, right? We just talked about this. So what are you going to manifest? More of what you are continuing to focus on, which is what you don't want. Again, we all do this. I've been teaching manifestation for like 3 years now, and this is still one of those things that is always that thing that I finally come aware of that's tripping me up in manifesting whatever I'm trying to manifest. I'm usually stuck on just focusing on what I don't want that's in the place of what I do want. So don't worry. This happens to all of us. Reminding yourself of these keys, of these principles, though, is really important to do again and again. So save this video, save this episode so that you can listen to this over and over to be reminded in whatever it is that you're manifesting, how to get back into that state of alignment with what you actually want to manifest. So anyways, like I said, like is going to attract like. So if you are focused all your energy on everything that you don't like in your current circumstance, or even your energy and your attention is just focused on what is in your current circumstance, you are attracting more of what is currently here in the present. To go above and beyond the life that we've already created, we need to go above and beyond that in our mind. We need to go above and beyond it in the energetic field before we ever see it actually manifest in the physical field. So how do we do this? We play pretend. You need to enjoy what you desire now by pretending that you have it now. And I find the best way to do this is to play pretend with whatever is in your current circumstance in the place of that thing. So for example, a house or a car, and play pretend in association with that thing like it is the thing that you actually desire. So I'm going to explain this for you in a more tangible way with how I utilize this in manifesting my car. Like I said in the previous example, I was driving around my Tesla pretending that it is a luxurious car, that it is a Porsche, getting into the feelings of how I would feel being that girl who is driving her Porsche. Like the version of me and just how I feel as a woman, as a successful business owner who has made it to the place in my life where I can be driving a Porsche, where I own a Porsche, is a different energy than I knew that I felt and would feel driving my Tesla, which granted at one point was my dream car and was the symbol of my success. But I manifested this car now like 3 years ago. And since then, I've just grown up more and I wanted more of a woman car, if that makes sense. I wanted my big girl dream car, the Porsche. And I knew that driving that Porsche, I would just feel more embodied into that successful woman, successful business owner that I'm also stepping into as well, that I am now, this version of myself that I was calling Brooke 3.0 for quite a while. But now she's manifested, so now we're moved on to the next. More on that in the identity episode, don't worry, we're going there. But that was one of the keys, one of the blockages that I observed in myself was I wasn't acting like the version of myself when I was driving around town in my Tesla who owns a Porsche. I was stuck in the current reality of being me, Brooke, who drives the Tesla. So I began to shift this. And this is what I did when I manifested my Tesla, by the way, because going from the car I had previous to my Tesla, to a brand new Tesla, felt like a luxurious car to me at the time. And honestly, I love Teslas. If you're thinking about getting one, I highly recommend. I love my Tesla and I still consider it a luxury car, even though people say Tesla is not a luxury car. To me, honestly, now I have a Porsche and a Tesla. And if I'm being honest, I really like driving my Tesla. I like the Porsche too, don't get me wrong, but I just can whip it different in my Tesla, you know? So when I was driving my previous car and wanted to manifest my Tesla, I would drive around LA, drive in more wealthy areas of LA, play music that made me feel like that bitch, that made me feel like I had money for the first time in my life. It made me feel like I could afford to buy myself a car because that was just the level that I was aligning to then. I would feel like my car was my dream car. I'd feel good in it. I'd feel vibey in it. I'd feel like that bitch in it. I'd take care of it as if it was a brand new car. Now going from my Tesla to my Porsche, I applied that same playing pretend mentality. So I would drive around my Tesla and pretend that it was my Porsche. So I'd think about how would I feel getting into my Porsche, getting out of my Porsche, parking it, taking care of it, right? Now I've had this Tesla for a few years now. I definitely don't treat it like a brand new car anymore. I let it get dirty. I don't always go get a car wash. There's just like shit in the back seat. You know how it is. So I started taking care of my Tesla like it was a brand new Porsche. The thought of then throwing trash on the ground of my Tesla was like, oh my God, I wouldn't do that to my brand new luxurious car. Like, I'm gonna take care of her. I started cleaning it a lot more, taking care of it a lot more, just feeling really proud of it. And naturally, and what I find really beautiful and fascinating about this process, naturally, as you're doing that, you actually start to get gratitude for what you currently have in your life. So I've also done this with houses many times and everything that I've manifested. This is such a key. But whenever I'm trying to manifest a move, a new home, it's usually because I'm sick of where I live currently. I'm currently manifesting a new home and I definitely felt that way. So what I'll do is I'll start to just bring a lot of love and care and affection into my home, taking care of it, cleaning it, making it feel good, whether that's through, kind of moving around the furniture or adding little touches that make it feel better for me, lighting nice candles, just making it into a vibe where I feel really good in my home. And then, like magic, I start to become really appreciative of the thing that I hated previously, or was so focused on all the things wrong with it previously. Like I said, like attracts like. So when you're in that energy of being focused of all the things you don't like, what are you attracting more of? Seeing more of all the things that you don't like. So whether it's a home or a car or anything else, when you start to treat it like and pretend that what you have is already that thing that you are desiring to manifest, just naturally you begin to feel appreciation and love for this thing. So I started to really appreciate my Tesla and really like my Tesla again, to the point that honestly, I kind of forgot that I really wanted a new car. I just became very content with continuing to drive my Tesla. And this takes us into step 3. Step 3 is a big umbrella, so I'm just calling it certainty, patience, and peace. And I have a little quote for you. Those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. And that's from A Course in Miracles. That is one of my favorite all-time quotes that changed everything in manifestation for me, but I like to paraphrase it in my own words. So I'm going to tell you how I remember it. The way that I've always remembered it in my mind and how I say it to myself is those who are certain of the outcome can wait in patience and in peace. Meaning that when you are certain that you are a creator who came onto this planet to manifest what you desire, and your desires aren't given to you by mistake, but instead they are guidance from your soul of what you are meant to put your energy behind and attract and experience in this lifetime. When you accept that, and when you are certain of that process, and you are certain that whatever you put that insanely magnetic creator power behind will manifest, you will do your part, which is aligning your energy, and then you will wait patiently. You will be in peace. You're not going to be on edge all the time thinking, oh my God, is it working? Is it gonna come? What if I fuck it up? What if it's not working anymore? Am I doing something wrong? Right? You're going to be patient. You're going to trust that you are doing your part, which is aligning your energy. You are vibrating the aligned frequency. And anything that comes up, any little bumps in the road, any limiting beliefs or identities that you need to up level, or anything that we've covered previously in this, right? Like, what is your attention on? Any of that kind of stuff you work through. And you work through it honestly in ease because you know the process. You aren't mad at yourself about it. You're like, oh, great. Okay, there's some information for me to utilize to align even deeper and get more into alignment, which is my job as a creator in this life. So you do your part and then you trust that the universe is aligning it all perfectly for you. And it might manifest today, tomorrow, next week, next month, maybe even a year. But you're coolin', you're chillin' because it's certain, it's inevitable. It's like if I told you right now, listen, 1000%, like we can sign a contract. I'm going to put $1 million in your account. But it might be tomorrow, it might be next week, it might be next month, or it might be a year, or it might be 2 years. But it is for sure happening. Wouldn't you feel excited? And right, if this contract was airtight and you fully believe me, you fully trusted me, all was good. Wouldn't you be excited? You wouldn't be blowing up my phone being like, "Hey, when's that wire gonna hit?" Like, no, you would trust me. The agreement was laid out. Like, listen, it's going to happen. I'm going to line it up in the most perfect way to be delivered to you. But you've got to trust me that I'm going to deliver it in the most perfect time, right? Maybe like interest rates are high and you're going to have to pay more taxes on it if I put it in your account during a certain time. So I'm just like timing it for that, right? Something like that. You're going to want it delivered in the best way possible, and you're going to trust me to do that. You're not going to be on my ass like, "Hello, like, where is it? We've made this agreement," and now you're living as if it's inevitable. You probably start feeling different around money. You probably start looking at cars or homes that you're going to buy when that money hits your account, right? Like, you are preparing for the inevitability of receiving that money. This is how you need to be with your manifestations. The universe is working with you like this. You just don't fully believe that it is, because if you did fully believe that it is, you would be waiting in patience. You would be waiting in peace. And any time that we do not feel that peace, that we do not feel that patience, that's a good indicator that we are not in full belief in the inevitability of that manifestation manifesting. And then there's work for us to do there. If you are certain, that means that you are in alignment with that desire and you are doing any work that comes up that you need to get in deeper alignment with it, right? If there's a limiting belief, or if you notice that you've been focusing your energy a lot on the lack of it, which, listen, these little bumps in the road happen to all of us. So just allow yourself to work through them as they come up. But if you're certain that it's going to happen, you're able to move through life, move through the motions, move through the steps a lot more intuitively and trusting, and not having this resistant energy to following your guidance along the path, because you trust that every step you take is taking you there. It's inevitable. This kind of takes me into another branch that I want to go off of this in, which is having a positive outlook. So having that belief that it is all happening for you, right? Maybe you're manifesting $1 million and you get laid off next week. Rather than seeing that as, wow, now how am I ever going to get that $1 million? See that as, oh, the universe just gave me an opportunity to start that business that I've always been dreaming of starting. Before I get into my example, which is a very good example of this, I want to just take it into one more branch off of this, which is detachment. Detaching isn't forgetting about the desire, right? Like that $1 million that I would be dumping in your account. It's not that you forget that you are receiving that. You just aren't up its ass. You just aren't pressed on it because you trust and you're chilling with it, right? You are waiting in patience and peace. You're detached from it because you know it's all working out. You know the universe is delivering it in the most perfect way that only the universe could, because the universe has a bird's eye view, has the best view in the universe, and you don't. So you trust the universe to unfold it for you more perfectly than you ever could for yourself. So yes, you still want the thing, but you're also good right now without it, right? This kind of goes back into playing pretend as well, because you're already feeling the feelings of having it now. You're living your life in the enjoyment of it now. Even though it's not tangibly in your hands, you are benefiting from all the feel-good energy and feelings of having it now. Releasing this attachment, this neediness, releases the resistance that you would actually have to receiving it. Because when you are so focused on it coming from this one way, or it looking this one way, or being this one thing, you could become blind to all of the amazing synchronicities and guidance that the universe is giving you along the way to guide you down an even more soul-aligned path than you could have ever even imagined for yourself. So it's important that we know that we can desire our thing, we can be excited about it, we can want it, but also that we don't put our entire happiness on that thing, that we allow ourselves to enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, do our part, which is aligning, and let the universe handle the rest. Take the aligned guidance steps as we get them, but don't try to control the entire process, because then you're cutting out the magic and you're making it a million times harder. I want you to think of it as you realize that you desire the thing, you align to it now so deeply, and you're so in that certainty of it that you're good. You're good with waiting, and you're happy to experience more of your current circumstance right now, because you know that one day, very, very soon, that thing, that life, that reality will be yours. And you'll look back on where you are right now very fondly and be like, oh, remember when I was just on the cusp to having it? Remember just before my entire life changed? Keep that in mind. And again, this puts you more in that energy of certainty and patience and peace, which is magnetic as fuck energy, and makes the manifestation of what you desire absolutely inevitable, and gives the universe the space to do its job without you trying to hyper control it all. So the example of how this played out in my car manifestation is crazy, and it's crazy too because it's pretty similar to how my first car, my Tesla, manifested. So first, in the detachment part of it, I really let go, like I mentioned in step 2, to really needing it, because I was so in alignment with pretending like I had it now and enjoying what I did have and just playing pretend like the Tesla was the Porsche, that I felt a lot more patient and I didn't feel like I needed it right now. I got solid and whole on my own without that thing, and made it just say, wouldn't it be super cool if I had the Porsche too? But I also was so certain of it, right? Like I said earlier, this was also something that I was scripting about all the time in my manifestation journal. This is something that I would visualize. This is something that's been on my vision board. So it wasn't a question in my mind if it would happen. It was certain. I knew that it would. It's just kind of a matter of when. And because I had aligned to the frequency of it so much, I was cool with waiting. I was cool with being patient, because I found gratitude for what I already have now and was putting all my energy behind that, which, as you know now, like attracts like. That's very magnetic energy, which actually expands and attracts more of that energy to you. A lot of people would think that if you focus on what you do currently have with gratitude and appreciation, you're going to manifest more of it. But it's actually the complete opposite, because you're manifesting more to be grateful and appreciative of, versus when you are associating with what you have now with this hatred and this disgust and being really ungrateful of it. You're manifesting more things to feel that way around, which, if you feel that way around your current circumstance, more of your current circumstance. Hopefully that makes sense. So anyways, I became so detached from needing the new car now, where I just began to enjoy my Tesla. I actually went and test drove some cars before the holidays, and after test driving a Porsche, I actually didn't love it. I test drove the electric Porsche, and I didn't love it that much. And I think that actually helped with my detachment, because I was kind of thinking, do I even really want that Porsche now? Or specifically that Porsche, which was the one that I thought that I wanted, the electric Porsche. And so I kind of started to think, maybe I want a new Tesla. And I just kind of loosened my grip on how this new car would look when it manifested. I knew I wanted a new car, but I was super okay with waiting. And I'm actually manifesting a move in the summer, late spring, summer. So I just kind of decided, well, I'll just wait until I move to get a new car, and really just released. I, of course, still desired a new car, and if one was going to fall in my lap, I wasn't going to say no to it, but I released the need to have it now. I was, of course, still journaling, scripting, visualizing myself and this version of me who's living my dream life, who happens to have both of my dream cars as well, because that is in the vision of my dream life, but I wasn't needing it now. I was okay with it coming later. And that released a lot of the attachment or the needy energy of it. Then I mentioned that I also wanted to go back to having that positive outlook in circumstances. So this is what had happened in my first car manifestation, and then again in this one. And I always do this with any manifestation, anytime it looks like it's a bump in the road or a redirection in what I'm manifesting, I never actually see it as a, oh shit, this is a bad thing. I always shift my mind and I reframe it to see it as happening for me because I've seen this play out in my life, in my client's life, in my student's life so many times that divine redirection is just such a real thing. And when you put out that intention for the universe, again, the universe knows how to manifest it, how to deliver it to you in a way that is better than you could even ever imagine for yourself because you only know what you know. And so we don't know everything. And the universe knows the best ways for things to play out for the greatest and highest good of ourselves and others and to exceed our expectations. So I gave you the example of you wanting to manifest $1 million, you getting laid off from your job, but that being divine redirection from the universe to give you that nudge that you needed to start that dream business that you've always dreamt about having. So in the way that this played out with the car, we had 2 cars parked in our driveway. One was mine, a Tesla, and the other was my boyfriend's. Now, before anybody thinks like my boyfriend bought this car or it had anything to do with my boyfriend, I want to clear that up right now that my boyfriend did not give me $1 for this car, okay? Also, I'm the breadwinner, babe, okay? I'm the rich husband.
My mom said to me, you know, sweetheart, one day you should settle down and marry a rich man. And I said, Mom, I am a rich man.
So we went on a trip for the holidays. My boyfriend parked his car down the road. We live in Hollywood Hills. He parked the car down the road in the hills. It's a lot of windy streets and left a space so that my assistant could come and park in his space while we were gone. Even when we were leaving, I was like, are you sure that's a good idea? You know, there's like rocks along the hills that could fall on your car, or you just never know. Like I said, we live in a very hilly, windy area. He's like, yeah, it's good. We come home and we see that his car has been run into. It's parked there, but it's definitely been smashed. Someone definitely hit it. And there's a note on the car. The note just said, like, please contact me about the damage to your car. He just passed it over to insurance. We never really found out what happened, but our suspicion is maybe it was like a drunk driver on New Year's Eve. Because it was a parked car, like how else do you hit a parked car? They had to have just like driven into it. I don't know. So I'm just like chilling with it. Of course, it wasn't my car, but this actual nearly same thing happened to me when I manifested my Tesla. I was driving right around the corner from my house, literally going like 10 miles per hour. I had just left my driveway, and a moving truck backed into the passenger side of my car. Nobody was in my car, so no one was hurt. It was just me. And I was fine. Like I said, I was driving like 10 miles per hour, and they were also going very slow, but it was a giant, massive semi truck. So it did total my car. And that was the catalyst of me getting paid out for my old car and then finding out that I could get a Tesla. Which that story has a bunch of other twists and turns where I saved a ton of money on the Tesla as well, and it just happened so divinely. But let me go back to the Porsche. So at this point, we didn't know that the car was totaled. We just thought that it had damage to it. I didn't think much about it. My mind didn't even go to, oh my God, I'm gonna get a Porsche now. Not at all. A couple days go by, his car gets towed, and then it gets assessed, whatever they do with damaged cars, I don't know. And we find out that the car is totaled. I will literally put a screenshot of what I said when my boyfriend texted me saying that the car is totaled, because my mind immediately went to, you just manifested a car. So I was excited. And this is what I mean by having that optimistic perception on situations. Still at this point, I didn't know that we would end up getting a Porsche, or I would end up getting a Porsche, but I knew that everything was going to work out for him. Regardless, he now needed a car and he was going to get a new car, right? Even when he came home from work that day, he was in such a low mood, and I just kept reminding him and told him, please practice what I'm always talking about. Okay, quick readjustment because my camera died. I feel like a real YouTuber now with a camera. Anyways, as I was saying, I basically asked my boyfriend to use this as an experiment to practice his own manifestation power and just think positive about the circumstance. See it as it happening for him. See it as the universe working for us. Still, at this point, I had no intention of getting another car. It actually really didn't even cross my mind. What I saw it as positive in his case was we were planning on selling his car anyways when we moved. So it's just kind of a to do off our checklist, and the insurance was going to pay him out, and we didn't have to worry about actually selling the car. So I just shifted automatically to positive. I helped him to do the same, being the manifestation coach that I am, although I think the people close to me in my life, some of them want to take my advice, some of them don't. He's kind of one of the more tricky ones. But he comes around. He comes around. And this was one of those moments where he was like, okay, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to practice. I'm just going to hold a positive energy. I was like, bless this man for following direction. So we just continue on. A couple days pass, and I have a call with my CPA. For anybody who doesn't know what a CPA is, it's like a financial advisor, someone who handles your taxes. So I had a call with him, kind of just explain the situation quickly, just like, hey, I think I might need to get a new car because my boyfriend's got totaled. I've been letting him use mine, so I think that I'm gonna get another one possibly. He helps me with my business, Arcanum LA, so I'm happy to, let him drive one of my cars, but I still need a car to have when he's away at work. And so my CPA kind of asked me, like, okay, what car do you want? And just being in total detachment of the Porsche, I really just lightly threw out there, I mean, my dream car is a Porsche, but I'm happy to get another Tesla as well. And he said, well, if your dream car is a Porsche, then let's get you a Porsche. And kind of the rest from there is history. He actually ended up having a connection at Porsche who was able to get me an incredible deal. And he handled all of the communication between the dealer and me to find the perfect car for me. I didn't have to do a single thing, except for show up and get the car. And I got a crazy deal on a Porsche. I honestly didn't know if I was even at the place to buy a Porsche right now. I knew I was getting there. I just had no idea it was going to happen right now. Even when I was test driving the cars, I really wasn't planning on getting it like right now, but it all fell into place so perfectly, so divinely. Friday, I didn't even know I was getting a car, and Sunday, I drove it off. And that's on energy. That's on detachment. That's on certainty, patience, and peace, babe. Okay, step 4, final step before I get into the implementation, like the homework for you to take away from this. This is working the process, plain and simple. Taking everything that I've explained to you here and actually putting it into work. I said in my ins and outs video for 2024 that one of the things that is absolutely out this year is learning but not applying. So I want you to apply this. This is how you actually put the understanding of this manifestation knowledge to the test. This is how you walk the talk of everything that we're covering now, which, if you remember, I promised you in the beginning would manifest you results if you applied it. Remember when I said if you want to live a life that you have never lived before, you're going to have to do things in ways that you have never done them before. This is where that comes in. So now that you understand the importance of your focused energy, your attention, you understand the importance of playing pretend, you understand the importance of being in certainty, being in that energy of patience and peace around your manifestations, you probably see ways that you have been behaving around your manifestations that isn't in alignment with everything we just covered. I mean, even going off the example, if you've been so focused on what you don't want, always thinking about, always observing all the things around you in your life that you want to change, and now with the new awareness you have, you're going to have to change that way of thinking and being to being focused on what you do want instead. Focus on what you do have right now in your life to be grateful for, charging that with even more energy and playing pretend that it's actually the thing that you desire. You're going to need to think about the things that you think about in ways that you've never thought about them before. You're going to have to feel ways about the things in your life that you probably have never felt before. You're going to need to interact with your life and the world around you and your manifestations in a way that you probably never have before. You're going to need to be and feel ways yourself in ways that you probably never have before. And in doing all of this, you're going to get results that you have never gotten before. Even in the example of playing pretend, right? You probably have never fully played like you are that person who has that thing or has achieved that thing yet. If it is a certain version of yourself that you want to be, can you go out this weekend and just play pretend? Give her a nickname. Literally give it an alter ego name. We're gonna go into this in the identity video, I promise. But then dress up how she would dress, how this next level version of you would dress. Do your makeup in that way. Strut in the motherfucking street the way she would strut, because she is that bitch and therefore you are that bitch and you are being it now, right? If you want to be a new version of yourself, you're going to have to be someone that you have never been before. If you want to manifest things in your life that you don't have right now, you're going to need to align to a frequency by thinking different thoughts and feeling different feelings than you have ever before. This change requires focus and patience. You need to be focused on what it is that you desire and be committed to aligning your frequency to it. And remember, I told you how to know where your vibration is in alignment to what you want to manifest is to become aware of your attention. What are you focused on? What are you thinking about? How are you feeling? And shift it accordingly. This is why awareness is huge. So actually practicing present awareness. Like I mentioned in the beginning too, I will become aware of what I'm feeling and I'll question it. If it feels off, if it doesn't feel like that most expansive version of myself who is effortlessly manifesting everything that she desires in complete certainty, patience, and peace. I will dig into that feeling, not in a judgmental or negative way, but in a curious way to get clarity on where my attention is. What am I thinking? What are the beliefs that are running through my head? And then I shift accordingly. And I shift in the moment. So this is big work that you can do in a sit down setting to get clarity. But then this is also continued work, actually working the process in real time, day after day, hour after hour, second after second, practicing constant awareness of your frequency, of your vibration, and that being how you are feeling, what you are thinking, what your manifestation power is focused on, and how it is focused on it, the essence of it, and then shifting as needed, shifting accordingly to align. This is how you manifest anything that you desire. Yeah, I said that. And I mean it too. Okay, so now your implementation, just a little bit of homework, a little extra for you to actually take some notes on, step away from this video, and apply into your own life. So you can think about doing this in 3 columns. That's kind of how I like to do it. But column 1, the first thing that you're going to get clear on is what you want. What is the vibration of what you want? So in other words, get really clear on it. Describe it. What does it feel like to have it, be it, have done it, achieved it? Get into the energy of it and just paint the picture of this desire. Next, or column 2, you're going to get clear on your current vibration. So your current location in terms of that desire. So I want you to be really real with yourself. Again, non-judgmental. We're all friends here, but get real about how you actually feel in relation to this thing right now. For example, if you are aligning to a new way of feeling and being within your own identity, within your own self, maybe like stepping into hot girl energy for 2024, but right now you're really not feeling it, like you have not been feeling yourself, I want you to be honest about that. I want you to let out how you're actually feeling and get clear on your starting location. Just like in a GPS, you would never put the ending location without knowing where you're starting from. Same kind of deal here. We want to get clarity on where we're at now so that we can have clarity on the steps to take to move us in the right direction of where we actually want to go. Get clear on how you feel about this thing, the energy that you hold around it, your belief behind it, any limiting beliefs that are there as well. Just really paint the clear picture of your current location. Then in the third column, you are going to get clear on the vibration to align to. So the shifts that you are now going to make. This is where you are now going to focus your attention. So get clear on what you need to be focusing your attention on. What are the thoughts that you need to be thinking? What are the new beliefs that you are choosing to adopt now? What are the feelings that you are aligning to? For example, if you're playing pretend like you are a successful business owner driving your luxury Porsche, what does that feel like? How can you help yourself to feel into that more? For example, in my example, every time I got in my car, I would pretend I was driving my Porsche. I would really feel it. So whatever it is that you're manifesting, what practices or things can you put into place to help you to align to the energy, to help you to shift into that aligned frequency? When you catch your mind focusing on what you don't want, or playing those old limiting beliefs and telling yourself those old limiting stories, what are you going to shift them to now instead? So that's column 3. Then I actually want you to put it into practice. You can make it into a fun little challenge even. Maybe for just one day to start, you decide to fully focus on aligning to this energy, on living in alignment to this manifestation. And you make it your full focus throughout that day to practice awareness of your thoughts, your feelings, your energy, and play pretend aligning to it. From there, you can even build on it more and extend that energy for longer. The more that you continue to align to it, the easier and more natural it becomes. Maybe there's certain things that you even want to give yourself little reminders of to help you to align in moments that you often feel misaligned. For example, I love to leave sticky notes. I've always been a sticky note girl. Sticky notes with energies or affirmations to help me align. So in the car manifestation example, maybe you have a sticky note on your steering wheel that reminds you of the energy that you want to align to when you are driving your current car to help you to align to that frequency of the car that you're manifesting. This might be feeling like that bitch, feeling abundant, feeling luxurious, feeling appreciation for your car, and playing pretend like the car you are driving right now is that car that you desire. Maybe if you're manifesting a new relationship with yourself, or you're manifesting the best shape and fitness and body of your life, but every time you look in the mirror, when you're getting out of the shower and putting on lotion and doing your skincare, you're always thinking these negative thoughts towards yourself about your appearance. Put some sticky notes or a big ass piece of paper with affirmations on your mirror for you to repeat to yourself every time you're in that situation. Because remember, like attracts like. So the more that you perpetuate those negative thoughts about yourself, the more that you're manifesting it into your reality and keeping yourself in that loop of feeling bad and looking bad. You're literally manifesting it. Not saying you look bad, but I've watched this play out in my life so many times. We can go into a whole episode on this because the way you talk to yourself is everything. But anyways, what I'm saying is, if that's one of your triggers to kind of go in that negative spiral and feed your energy into the perpetuation of having this negative relationship with yourself and your body and not liking the way that you look, we want to shift that into manifesting what you actually desire, which is this loving, positive relationship with yourself and feeling like you're hot as fuck and loving your body, loving the way that you look. So can you make some sort of reminder for yourself of the energy that you want to align to, how you want to play pretend while you're looking in the mirror, and have some sort of trigger for yourself, like a sticky note or a sheet of paper that just makes it easy for you to remember to do that every time you're in front of the mirror. Maybe you're manifesting a new house like I currently am, and there's things in your current house that you really don't like. But again, you don't want to be perpetuating the current circumstance or living in places that you don't like. So you need to be aligning to a different frequency, a frequency of enjoying where you live, of loving where you live, of appreciating where you live. And so maybe those certain areas of your house, for me, it's my bathroom. I really, really, really am manifesting a luxurious bathroom. I've never had one in my whole life. I've actually never had like a luxurious spa-like bathroom. And I've been obsessed with them since I was a little kid because I never had one. And I always wanted my own bathroom that was just gorgeous. So I'm really manifesting that. And I am manifesting that. Can't wait to update you when I have it because it is on the horizon. It is coming soon. But something that I'm currently doing to help me to align to that frequency is when I'm in the shower, I close my eyes and pretend I am in my spa, luxurious, giant, gorgeous shower that I am manifesting in my new house. Where before I was so out of alignment with this because every time I would be in my bathroom taking a shower, getting ready, I just hate it. I just think about how much I wanted a new home with a luxurious bathroom and that I didn't have it yet. See the difference here? Now I'm bringing enjoyment and playing pretend in my current circumstance, and that's actually going to magnetize what I actually desire to me even faster rather than perpetuating the same experience over and over and maybe even manifesting a new home with another bathroom that I don't like. And that's what I got for you today, my babes. I'm actually so excited to be doing this, to have this new little setup, filming on a real camera now. And I just feel really good. I'm excited for what's to come this year. I'm excited to have so much more content and long form content to share with you guys. I feel really lit up and really excited to be showing up, to be shining my light. And we aren't hiding anymore in 2024. Okay, so please subscribe. There will be so many more good videos to come. I have really, really exciting ones planned for February. Comment down below what you learned from this video. I'd love to see your takeaways and let me know what else you are interested in seeing me share more on this channel. Also, share your takeaways with me over on my Instagram at Arcanum Life. I love connecting with you guys there too. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it and got a lot of juiciness out of this episode. Stay tuned for way more because there are way more juicy episodes coming too. We are just getting started, baby. I swear, this is a new era. This is a new era. And I'm excited. I'm sending so much love and so much good fucking energy your way. I will see you next time. Bye.